Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Game Set Live. Today I'm very happy to announce that we'll be doing another lightsaber hilt replica look at, review, video, whatever you want to call it. And today we're going to be looking at the Korbanth Desert Wanderer. Now this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi hilt from actually the Kenobi show. And this is a combination of the episode 3 Revenge of the Sith and episode 4 A New Hope, kind of a mashup version. And in following them on Facebook and their social medias, it was really cool to see how they actually created this hilt. They did get pictures, very detailed pictures of the original in the TV show to compare to. And while I may not have been the biggest fan of the TV show, the lightsaber hilt in it was flawless. So I want to give us a chance to look at a closer, detailed look at this and decide. I already know it was obviously worth it. So hopefully you'll be able to decide if maybe this is something you want to pick up. Of course, this is the empty version. So without keeping you waiting too long, we're going to get right into it and get a nice detailed look. All right, so we got everything set up here. I'm actually going to use gloves because I want to keep this as fingerprint free as possible for as long as we can. So this is my first ever Korbanth saber. I've seen them plenty of times on eBay and on their website, so I know kind of what I'm getting into. And while I did want to do a first reveal on camera, I couldn't resist myself, and so I did take a little peek beforehand, but that's okay. So it comes with a nice sturdy box. It's not gonna get damaged. When the UPS guy delivered it, he did kind of toss it across my patio porch, but it was doing all fine. So we've got this thin foam to keep it secured, and then the hilt itself comes packaged with its own cutout of the foam. And as far as extra pieces goes, we have the carbon steel emitter if you're using a lightsaber, an actual lightsaber, instead of this is just the empty hilt, of course. So it comes with that. And you have the Allen wrench, if I can grab it, piece, which maybe I didn't quite put it back like I thought I did. I'll have to dig for that somewhere. Oh, there it is, right in there. So that comes in here. That's to tighten the locks on the emitter. And then, without getting too distracted by everything else, we have the hilt itself. Now this this is a beautiful hilt, and as you can see, I did opt for the weathering. So here, let's do a little bit of that. Got a nice little frame set up here. I did opt for the weathering, and I want to keep it nice and shiny. So you can, if it didn't have the weathering, it of course you wouldn't have this mark up here, all this grunge and dirt on the emitter, on the hilt, the scratches along the handle here. And then they did keep this is actually brass. These two pieces here are brass. So they did keep those relatively clean, mainly the aluminum with the black on it. They scuffed that up a bit. And then one thing I didn't mention is it comes with the piece if you choose to have the soundboard in there. It comes with that. It also comes with the flat piece on the bottom if you're going to display it like I do, so you can have a clean looking lightsaber hilt. So just first overall impressions is the weightiness to this hilt is pretty intense. It has a really good heft to it. One thing I always look for and hope in a lightsaber hilt is that when you're holding it, you want it to feel like you're actually holding something. You don't want to pick it up and it just feels like some cheap plastic. So I really love that aspect of it. As I mentioned, this is a mashup between the episode 4 and the episode 3. So I think the emitter neck is a little bit different. There's a handful of differences. I don't know if I have the trained eye enough to catch those. I do know that this is episode 3 specific. These buttons are episode 3. They might be on both, but this is if you were to install an actual board in here, you would use this as the on-off button, and then this would be for whatever your auxiliary sounds are. And of course the CoverTech hilt, the CoverTech knob for to put on your belt loop or your belt clip. So you can get a really good look at the hilt here. And see, the weathering on this is very nicely done. I'm kind of glad they didn't weather these polished pieces too much, because then you really can just enjoy the shininess, because it is really great to see that. But overall, the weathering on the aluminum is very beautiful. I was gonna put I will put a picture on the screen of what each of these components are, but we'll see if I can get it from memory. The top piece right here, this is the carbon steel, and then the top part of the neck is pure copper, with the lower neck being brass, and then this middle spine piece is aluminum, colored black of course, and then weathered. And then the first polished piece is brass as well. Now I'm just going off what they're telling me. It looks more like polished steel, but they do say it's brass. And then this black piece here is aluminum, with the bottom being brass. So there's a lot of awesome pieces, and that does really give it the weight that I think it needs. But the detail, the machining on this is very beautiful. And in case you were wondering, this is a $300. If you were to, I think it was $289 if you don't choose weathering. If you do choose weathering, it adds another $25, $30. So I really love the weathering they did. So now I'm actually going to fix the zoom again. And then we'll disassemble it real quick so you can see all the pieces and components that go into this hilt. We'll start at the bottom. First off, as I mentioned before, if you can switch out these pieces with the vented ones to let the sound go through, and you can see me right there. So that's the bottom piece. Then next up you have the full pommel, and now this is where most of your weight is at. And that's definitely done on purpose, because you definitely want the hilt itself to be balanced properly. You don't want all the weight in one side, or all the weight in the top side, all the weight in the middle. You want the weight balanced on the back side, and that's more of a sword thing, I believe. So that's the emitter, and that's, like I said, that's where most of the weight is. And then this aluminum piece, don't want to ding up all the threads. So we have this aluminum piece. And then I didn't want to push it too much. This did not come undone. I believe actually because I bet if I took these buttons out, I probably could get it there. Because you can see down there, the buttons go all the way through, and then that this black inside is the same as that aluminum. So I think that's all one piece. I didn't want to finagle with it too much. Don't want to break it. So there are some pins, it looks like, that go through as well. You can see those in there partially on the right side, which probably connects to this box. So I didn't want to push that too much, but this does come unscrewed, and I'm gonna once again try to keep the threads as clean as possible. I do really appreciate the deep threads, giving you a lot of bandwidth to make sure that that your hilt is securely placed and securely put together. And then the neck is I love the neck, the thin neck of these pieces. And the weathering on here, of course, is wonderful. I do think I scuffed up the weathering a little bit, ironically scuffing up the weathering. But regardless, I believe this is one integrated piece. It is, of course, copper and brass, but I didn't want to try too hard to separate them. So I think they were able to machine that into one piece, to my knowledge at least. So we'll scoot these over. And then surprisingly enough, this is actually two pieces. And I don't know if you can hear it jingle a little bit, because there are two pieces in there. I'm thinking maybe at some point it's this bit here. I'm thinking at some point I may decide to figure out if there's some kind of rubber seal I can put in here or on this bottom side so it doesn't jiggle like that. But it is cool to have just in the emitter itself. There are 3 pieces. I think I'm out of frame here. But in the emitter itself, you have 3 pieces of, I believe these all appear to be carbon steel, which is great. So just in the emitter itself are 3 pieces, and we'll set those out. So these are all the pieces of the hilt itself, which is awesome to have so many parts to disassemble within a hilt. It keeps the realism, keeps the intricacy of the hilt itself, and I think it is a great touch for the Korbanth Desert Wanderer. So I'll go ahead and put it back together and then take some final looks. Beautiful weathering once again. And really just a great hilt. Very shiny, actually shiny where it needs to be in some respects, but then also weathered in other places where dirt and grime would build up, which is a really, really nice touch. So thanks everyone for watching my Desert Wanderer Korbanth lightsaber hilt review. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more content. Thanks for watching everyone, and remember to keep it live.